So that leads us to the first point, which is to collaborate. And I think one of the things that's important is this isn't just Publicis Group and Google. Tim's right, Google's built platforms, and our view is these platforms enable us to collaborate with a whole system. So we did collaborate with Google early on a concept we call audience on demand, and this enables us increasingly to buy an audience, like pet owners. And quite honestly, we want pet owners who are dog favors, and pet owners who are cat favors, and pet owners who are bird owners, and we found ways to do that because there's a lot of data that goes through the platform. Later, in June, we talked about the fact that that platform actually works with everybody. So MSN and Yahoo and all the Platform.com partnerships came into that, and we're increasingly scaling that up. Now we're working with premium players, folks like Discovery Networks, Time, Quadrant One, CBS, to make sure that that platform works not just in the PC screen, but in the television screen. And ultimately, we believe this partnership is not digital in the traditional sense. It's digital in all media because all media has a digital form. All media can be addressable. All media can have different market mechanisms. And eventually, all media will enable us to buy audience and not just space in a program. And that will change the economics fundamentally. So this collaboration that we started is not just for our two companies, but to have our two companies build platforms that everyone we work with in the media world can participate in.
And I think the next point we wanted to address was just the overall complexity. I talked a little bit a couple of minutes ago, but the complexity really of how long does it actually take for a client to be successful, online. And the complexity is you have, everything from multiple sites you're dealing with, multiple types of media, so you might be dealing with search, social networking, et cetera. And then at a broader scale, actually, within the organization itself, there was a story in the Wall Street Journal even about Google that leaked, actually, which was about this Project Spaghetti that we had, which really went through how long it actually took to put in an order through our systems. And in general, and I think since we spent so much money on systems and technology and scale, I think the challenges we were having internally are the same challenges that everybody's been having externally. And I think one of the things that we really talked about putting together the partnership was how long does it actually take somebody to spend $1 on the internet? And can we take that dollar and can we speed it up? Because although the process, the digital is more measurable and accountable, it also takes longer. In general, and I think one of the major investments that we've been working on as partners is how do you actually take all the benefits of accountability, measurability, and scale, and actually translate that into a dollar getting through the piping of the process faster. And I think we've actually come up with some fairly good strategies, both from collaboration of us with the DoubleClick platform, plus the things we were building at Google with direct line of feedback from Publicis on how to basically construct that, so it would be really easy for agencies to get through.
Yeah. So from the agency side, agencies are very people intensive. To place our $50 billion of advertising for our clients, we have across all of our agencies 44,000 people. And clients pay us an average of €100,000 or $150,000 a person per year to do that. And it's all that just generates a little under €5 billion of revenue. So it's a massive amount of work for that outcome. And we need to find a way to be less people intensive. So partially because a lot of that work isn't that interesting. A lot of that work is standing by the fax machine and looking at IOs. A lot of that work is just basically getting campaigns up. And we all hoped that the digital revolution would automate things. That's the promise. The reality is it got worse. The reality is we're now faced with, for any given brand, thousands of different ad units aimed at hundreds of millions of consumers around the world. In our case, 107 countries, right? So it's just this massively complex machine. And I appreciate the tools that are being built. What helped us a lot was that Google came inside to actually see how the work was done. Because if they design something and it doesn't fit the way we operate, it's not going to be that helpful. But I think that if we open our doors and let them see from a process standpoint what we do, and then we can automate those processes, I'd like to be able to scale with less people per revenue, I don't want to cut the people. I actually want to have the people generate more revenue by doing more value-added things on behalf of clients.
Great.
I guess the third thing we want to talk about is talent, which is it's the flip side of this issue. The processes that we have today are old. They've been built over decades in the media markets as we know them today, in the creative process as we know it today, and people are very good at it. But it doesn't handle complexity, it doesn't handle technology, it doesn't have as much analytic focus as we're needing to keep up as not just the PC screen, but all screens go digital. And that's going to take a lot of training, it's going to take a lot of development. It may take some new hires, and we're working on all of those aspects, but fundamentally, the market shifted to digital much faster than the talent shifted to digital, and we've had to really focus on doing that. And we've got a lot of things we're doing ourselves with our training programs and our internal universities and our college hires. We're trying to move people around the world because we've got talent in some markets more than others, and we're only 40% in the US, so we need to make this work worldwide. But the flip side is having had a better understanding of where Google's going, having had a better understanding of where they're focused on talent, I think it's helping us bridge that talent gap because they're helping us train our own people on where this market's headed.
I think one of the things that actually, I don't know if you agree or not, most impactful was the job sharing.
Yep.
In general, I think one of the ways we recognized what things we were missing from a talent gap perspective was actually we both had people go up to Publicis agencies and actually live there and spend time there, and vice versa. Actually, one of the most helpful conversations I've had in the last year was in the New York office. We had somebody from Digitas come down and spend a couple weeks in New York, and I actually ran into this person in the hallway and just sort of asked, so what did you think about your couple weeks you spent here? And he had a clear litany of list of things that Google did not completely understand, and I think we've been working very hard to fill those gaps in general. So.
Yeah, and people on our side think, you can go to Google, there's these stock options and free food, and it's just easy. But guess what? They work really hard at Google. People come back. So people come back and say, this isn't so bad.
He was actually running out of the building when I saw him.
So it's, the grass is always greener. It's, I think to have people live in each other's shoes is really worthwhile. And as I think most of the people in this room, I hope, leave this conference with a sense of reinvention and a sense of collaboration, you'll find more ways to live in each other's shoes. It's remarkably helpful to do that.